Hi, it's Rich Tarani with TMC. Thanks for watching. We're at ITEXPO Fort Lauderdale 2016. On our program is Raza with Fiber Mountain. Raza, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Rich. Very good.
Great. So your company has been a frequent guest here on our program, and we love to have you and hear your progress.
We love being here.
So let's start at the top. Tell me a little bit about Fiber Mountain for those people who may not have seen any of our prior programs.
Sure. Fiber Mountain is a, we still call ourselves a startup. We're about 2.5 years old. And what we are about is really changing the network infrastructure and making it more software controlled. And the unique thing about Fiber Mountain is all the way down to the physical strand of fiber. We can control it via software. And if you will, we're based on a glass core. Our glass core technology enables any connection from any edge port to any edge port, all via software.
So basically you can reconfigure your data center remotely from anywhere in the world at a moment's notice based upon the needs of the organization.
That's right. And we can reconfigure it remotely, layer 2, 3, and layer 1. And that's why one of the things we're announcing here at this show this time is our Crosscage Plus solution, which really reconfigures a carrier co-location data center absolutely human hands-free via software.
So tell me a little bit about that. How did that come to be?
You know, in most co-location spaces, you've got customers that take space, a cage, if you will, a certain size, number of racks and power and things. And they build their network there. And when they need to get out for connectivity, they really, the co-location space provides connections to a meet-me room, and from the meet-me room to the chosen or selected carrier that they want to connect to. The entire process of connecting from a cage through the meet-me room to a carrier is quite manual. And, it takes time in the initial install. But even when a customer has been there in a co-location space, if you needed to add more connections or if you needed to change the carrier or whatever the change might be, there's a request that the customer makes. It goes through the co-location provider. It goes through many steps, if you will, until somebody is dispatched to a meet-me room where they're looking at manually documented connections and cross connects and patch panels and making the change. It takes a lot of time. Recently, I was speaking with a carrier that we're working with and with the solution, and I said, well, sometimes it takes 6 weeks to actually make the change in the meet-me room, and they just laughed because they've seen cases where it takes longer than that, quite a bit longer than that. And in our case, from a Fiber Mountain perspective, it's a matter of minutes. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you how the customer controls it, if you will, really by themselves. How we look at this solution is there is a fiber aggregation port aggregator that we put in the customer cage. So it's a DMARC for the customer. Customer can connect any of their ports from their routers and their devices into this. We made it so easy that the customer goes onto a web portal, looks at their connections, requests that they need a new connection, let's say to carrier, a particular carrier. The web portal has a drop-down list. They select the carrier and they say, yep, I need a 10 gig connection to this carrier. The system investigates the network, comes back, and the fiber panel, the aggregation port aggregator they had in their own cage, there's a light that starts blinking in their cage, and they make the connection onto that port, and the system is capable of connecting them right to the carrier with no hands involved. And certainly in some carriers they would like to give this shall be done in 24 hours, and they go through billing cycles and things, but it's all hands-free, all automated. tremendous savings for the co-location provider and a great experience for the customer.
So really you're enabling the cloud to be, or any data center to just be more easily managed, configured, and modified as needed.
Correct. We are an SDN company, and if we're going to have software-defined networks, we've got to enable a better customer experience just via software and web portals and automatically configuring things. That's exactly what we do. We make it a lot easier and a lot less cost. Usually they're time and cost-intensive functions. We reduce those functions.
Now, is there anything else we should know, Roz, about what's happening?
Well, as we look at this, when you make this dynamic, this sort of a connection dynamic, we see in the future there will be carriers providing services that are purely dynamic. In other words, on demand. And this sets up very well for on-demand type services the carriers may start offering in the near future.
Very good. Well, thanks so much for being here. This was great.
Thank you. Thank you, Rich.